Thanks for joining me again. Right, where are we? So I need to solder in a diode between these two wires here, the one that I broke, and I ordered two and ended up getting 2 packs of whatever, quite a lot. So yeah, overkill there. Anyway, let's get that soldered in and we can move on. So just need to check this is 330 ohms, this resistor. Yep, excellent. Let's solder that in.
I've made a little list for you, brother, some tips to take you far. This list will come in useful when building your own car.
Here we go, sing it with me now.
Never drill holes in your finger, it really hurts like heck. Never use a spinning bandsaw, baby, and slice it through your neck. There's dangers in our workshop, they're lurking everywhere. You may go meet your maker unless you show some care.
So that's the ECU and its associated wiring pretty much done. Looks a lot better. There's the PVC wrap, which is going in the kind of wetter area of the car. But yeah, I don't think I can squeeze much more footage out of this. So yeah, let's move on to the next stage. So I've got a bit of a chicken and egg situation going on now. I'm not sure what to do next. Let me explain what I'm thinking. So I've got the dashboard in place and I need to make up a bit more of a frame for the dash. But before I make a frame, I think it's probably worth just sorting out a few other things, and I'll explain what's happening. So I've got a vent here and a vent here, and I want a vent here and a vent here to kind of demist the windscreen, which is a real pain in kit cars if you haven't got that. And for that, I've got this unit here. So yeah, a really smart little bit of kit from T7 Design. What we've got here is a electric fan on the back, and that's controlled by this control unit here. So we've got a couple of knobs. Now this speeds up the fan, slows down the fan, obviously. So this lever here is operated by this control knob here. Well, it's not going to be here when the car's finished. It's going to be in the car. So yeah, that controls that. Cable operated. Very clever. Nice bit of kit. So we've got coolant coming in. I think it's coming in this one. Might be coming in this one. Coming in here, going through that radiator inside there and coming out the other side. Now that needs plumbing into this cooling system. So we've got the coolant going into the radiator, which comes around here, up to the top here, goes through the rad, gets cooled and comes out the bottom and then goes back towards the engine there. So the inlet and outlet need to be plumbed into the cooling system somehow. So that'll take shape as it happens. So I'm probably going to have to cut a hole in the passenger footwell so that this gets fresh air coming in. Now, I don't know if there's going to be enough room around there. I need to kind of work it out. We've got the fuel tank in there as well. And what I also don't really want, I don't really want these in the passenger footwell either. If a hose was to pop off and spray someone with scalding hot liquid, that wouldn't be a good day. So I'll have to work out maybe how I can do that safely. So yeah, I'll take the dash out and then see how we go, eh?
Never use a grinder and grind it through your wrist. Never airline swap without goggles.
So where am I going to put the heater unit? That is the next thing to figure out. So that sort of location looks about the right sort of area. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the fuel tank in place. What I'm thinking of doing is cutting a hole in this area here and kind of sinking that electric fan part of the unit into that area there. But I won't have much wiggle room, but I've got some. Let's see what can be done with that area. I think it makes sense at this stage actually to remove the front bumper and the wings so they don't get damaged. So I'll do that next, I think.
Workshops are death traps, things to take life away. There's petrol, paint, and hot things, wouldn't have it any other way. Never use a cranked up welder with no welding mask or hazy.
Oh, that's interesting. Have a look down here. So there's this kind of area here. the shape of that tank, that little bit there, means there's some space kind of in the corner of there. So it makes sense to try and get the fan up in that area, or that part of the electric motor. Might as well try and get it all nice and neat and underneath the tank. I think I'll start cutting a hole around this area and just see where we are with it.
They're lurking everywhere. You may go meet your maker unless you show some care. If you wanna wreck your hearing, brother, and be a little deaf, then get down to a drag strip friend and watch funny cars on meth.
So that's interesting. If I was to follow that kind of angle of the fiberglass there, potentially I could kick that unit back. And that's not a bad idea, because look at the fan body. That sticks out really nicely in the firewall there. Now, the proof of the pudding is whether the fuel tank fits like that. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to then I can't go with that idea. But potentially that's not a bad plan. So the proof of the pud, as they say, is, well, pudding, is whether this fits. It's going to be touch and go. It does. Right, I think that's the position I'm going to be going with, because if I tilt it back, then these inlet outlet pipes, with obviously boiling hot water or coolant, is going to be the wrong side of the firewall. Sink it further back and have these pipes behind the firewall, so that if a pipe does pop off, then it's not going to be scalding anyone's legs. That's worked pretty well, apart from the fact that this lever here now hits up against the firewall, so I'm going to have to make a little bit of a cutout for that. Now, although I've just made a slot for that lever and it fits in there nicely, I don't think it's going to work, because that needs a little hook, that kind of cable, and if that's inside that slot, then that's going to get in the way. So, slight rethink. I think I need to cut a bigger recess out and just sink that whole thing in further. And also, this tube isn't quite behind the firewall, and I want it to be. So I think what I might do is cut out more of a section here and just sink this square section of the unit just back inside the firewall a bit more.
If you want to wreck your hearing, brother, and be a little deaf, then get down to a drag strip friend and watch funny cars on the...
Okay, so needs tidying up, but I'm liking that. That's sunk that much further into the firewall. And let me show you around this side. So we've got the inlet and outlet pipes there, sitting behind the firewall. Obviously you've got to figure out how to kind of make that airtight around there, because you don't want all the excess air going in the cabin. going to be a bit drafty, so I've got to work that out yet as well. But yeah, I'm liking that. Now I probably need to see if the fuel tank fits. I think it will, but let's give it a go. So yeah, that's all good. I think we might have a solution. We've got the inlet and outlet tubes, coolant tubes, in a safer location behind the firewall should a hose fail. Now I need to kind of work out how I'm going to mount it with everything that I kind of put together. I like to be able to make it easily accessible or removable should, you know, the matrix fail, the heater matrix fail. So I kind of want to build in a little bit of removability, if that makes sense. Removability, is that even a word? Not sure. I was going to call it a day there, then I realised I'm just being lazy. I've gone in, had some lunch, feeling a lot better. So come out again and I'm going to crack on with a frame for that. So we've got a bit of aluminium angle there, same with there. Metal sheet there, some metal tubing. A couple of shelves, which are fairly nice and thin. Fairly nice and thin? I mean, they are nice and thin. So I've got that, and I've also got my friend's bender there. So yeah, maybe I could utilise that as well. So yeah, thinking caps on. So let's start cutting and welding and see what takes shape.
I saw you scrolling past me with a skeptic's look in your eye. You saw a fake blue pale Porsche and a short fat bearded guy. What are you waiting for then, brother? I hear you're not quite a fan. I'll bring you fun-filled monthly updates just as often as I can. I've got that kit car goodness, there's mayhem guaranteed. You're gonna like this project. Hit that thumbs up button for me. What are you waiting for, friend? I heard you aren't yet subscribed. Spending all my bread on car parts to keep this dream alive. Crammed it in a VW. May find some useful tips here on some things that trouble you. What are you waiting for then, brother? I heard you ain't yet quite subscribed. Spending all my dough on car parts to keep this build alive. You've got a Scooby Beetle and like the way it drives, then let's pool our info here, man, and keep our dreams alive.
So there we go, that's the frame taking shape. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there for now. Reached a fairly sensible conclusion. The next part of the video is going to be kind of carrying on with the frame, doing some foam behind it so it kind of sits against a padded cushion of foam so no air can get inside the cabin. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next episode.